Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick, and today guys we're jumping down into the world of Ethereum, taking a look at what's been going on most recently and what I would expect to happen next. Now as I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Now if you have not yet joined us in Discord, the link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. So why not go ahead and check that out today? And guys, also in the description down below, you're going to find links to our Patreon services, where we offer a lot more for Patreon members via Discord. Everything from buying, selling, staking alerts, trading, project reviews, AMAs, and a whole host of additional benefits. If that sounds like something you're interested in, why not check that out? You'll also find links to the new Cheeky podcast, a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. And, ultimately, this is a community-led podcast that keeps you up to date with everything in crypto on your commute to the office. So why not go ahead and check that out today? Okay, let's waste no more time though. Let's jump right down into this. Here we have Ethereum paired up with USDT on the hourly chart, and Binance is the data source. And when we last talking about this a couple days ago, we were talking about a retest down here at $998. Now we did have a low point, and it came in at $1,006. So it was a little wick just down here. This actually marks the end of our moves to the downside, I think, and we're actually now moving on up in a little bit more of a significant way. So what this means is essentially we have completed a potential move down. Now it is possible, of course, that this is our wave 4 and we still come down. So there's a couple of different ways of kind of looking at it. So I'm going to give you both options, both wave counts here, as to whether or not we just break this 998 area ever so slightly to complete the zigzag, or whether or not we end up moving on up from here, and actually it failed to kind of go lower than $998, which would be unusual because we didn't go up higher than Origin up this side either. So some volatility here. So let me go ahead and show you what each of these look like, right? So just down here where we have this moment of volatility from this low point to this high point just here, you can see that we wick down to the 1.382, and that would be a typical wave 5 move. So this is either a wave 3 or it's the wave 5. So for the most part, I'm going to leave this as a wave 3 low, because I do think that that is the most probable. And then this is wave 4 with wave 5 still to come on down. This should then breach the 998 ever so slightly, and then we can then talk about moving up into a more significant way. Now all of this is corrective at the moment, so a zigzag pattern like this is corrective, which could mean that we're still inside our macro wave 4, which obviously would be confirmed if we go higher than 1,280. So knowing these structures knows that there's potential big movement to the upside to be had here for Ethereum before we actually move on down to those lows. So there's a few things to kind of talk about. Okay, so this is kind of option 1, right? Where I think this is the most probable. Okay, so we've kind of moved up into our wave 4. Our wave 4 here should be complete, and therefore we should be looking at bringing the price down to somewhere between 938 and 979. I would say the top end of this box is probably the one that is most likely based on how high this got just here. Okay, so keep an eye on that. Of course, if we do lose this, there could be a little bit more volatility than expected, but I'm going to just put these price points on here. So basically 938, and then at the other end 979. Okay, these are not to the center or anything like that, but yeah, so you get the idea. I'll go ahead and now remove these two fibs because we don't necessarily need them. Okay, so that's kind of the one that I think is the most probable. The one that is not as probable but is still possible is this one here. So essentially we completed our 5-wave move just there. 5, 3, 5. Okay, but the 5th wave should at least have come down here in my opinion, and the fact that it didn't quite hit this level tells me that this is the most probable scenario where we do need to come down lower. Okay, so a couple of things just to kind of consider there. This is the one I think is most likely. I don't think we're done just yet. Once this is over though, I would expect some kind of 3-wave move upwards. okay, and I think it will be of significance, okay? So entering into this low box here, I think is going to put us into a reasonable good spot. So what's not necessarily clear just yet is whether or not this is an overextended wave 3 taking us all the way down here. If it is, then I'm going to be expecting some really cheap Ethereum, much cheaper than I originally thought, which was marked up here at $648 to $783. If this is an overextension, then we're probably going to be, you know, down at $500 rather than just $600. So bear this in mind. I think we're going to go much lower if this is an overextension. If this is just a zigzag, then we're still potentially in wave 4. And our target would change ever so slightly down here, but it wouldn't be an overextension and wouldn't be as deep, okay? So essentially, that's what we're kind of looking at. I would expect some kind of significant bounce upwards from here. I'm going to take this upper side of this box from this area. So I'm going to take the high, and I'm just going to take this high side, so basically $979. And then what I'll do is I'll just mark a box of the typical kind of area to kind of be retracing up to, which would be basically just here, okay? So once we complete this down, I think this could be an area that we could visit, essentially. Now, there's no guarantee of it, but basically what we're saying is it's between 1,118, you know, understanding that there's a lot of, you know, support and resistance right around this area anyway, and 1,237. That would be a typical kind of bounce, I would have thought. Anyway, kind of 50% of this move up to 88%, and it really depends on, you know, whether or not this is an overextending third wave down or not. If it is an overextending third wave down, then I would expect this box to be filled in some way, okay? And then from there, it's an absolute colossal drop, in my opinion. But yeah, we'll have to see how that plays out with Ethereum. But essentially, that's kind of what we're looking at here for this one. And if we do move down here, I think the other thing that's worth kind of just noting here is that we are probably going to be witnessing a head and shoulder pattern here. But and actually thinking about it, it is a little bit off. If anything, it could form an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which would be more bullish. So that could actually indicate that we are not in this wave 3, but instead still inside our macro wave 4. So what that would look like, let me just grab hold of this for you a second. So taking this higher area here, we basically have our shoulder, and then we come down into our head. We would move this up, and then we would pull back down, potentially just somewhere around here, and then move on back up again. Okay, and you'd have this inverse head and shoulder kind of shape pattern. Let me just change that into yellow. I don't know what that's going on there. Just do that as well. There we go. So you'd end up with this kind of pattern, right? And it's possible that this plays out. Obviously, it's a bit loose. It's not something that I personally would use so much. It's good to give you a bit of an indication, right? We've called back down, finish the head, move up, pull back down, move up, right, and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, essentially when we talk about Elliott wave theory, we're talking about these kind of structures, these kind of movements regardless. So yeah, so there's always that as basically saying that we've still got a little bit high to go on our macro fourth wave, and this is just getting dragged out even longer than maybe we expected. But for the most part, I think Ethereum on the next kind of move down should put us somewhere between 938 and 979, and then move on up into this higher area, somewhere between you know, so 1,118 to 1,237 to be done there. Obviously, to invalidate any further downside, we would have to go up higher than 2,159, and our typical wave 4 movement would be 1,450, and obviously that hasn't been invalidated yet. So, you know, lots of thoughts, lots of kind of things to kind of think about, but this is kind of what the structure is looking like at the moment, and my expectations would be a slight further move to the downside before we bounce on up. So guys, I'm going to leave the video there. Not much more I can really say on Ethereum right now. If you have found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.